Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Angela. And we are married.
And bored. Well, welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
To another episode of the Married and Bored podcast.
You know what this reminds me of?
No. Radio?
No. It reminds me of The Office.
The Office?
The show, you know.
Yeah.
You know. When Michael Scott would always pick up the phone and say something stupid. And so Pam would allow him to get his first take out.
Yeah.
Like before she actually patched him through.
Yeah, because most of the time it was something super inappropriate.
Yeah, so that is always what happens when we start this show. We always look at each other. We're like, are you ready? Yep. And then we start recording and we always...
Flub it up?
Flub it up the first time.
I think that's the correct industry term.
The flub up?
Guys, how are your flubs? Hopefully not as bad as ours.
Yes.
Well, welcome everybody again back to another episode. We're happy you're here listening. We're here to talk about board games and
as always,
and just hang out as we do every 2 weeks ish on this show.
Chris, tell him what you got here for goodies tonight.
Oh, you want a rundown of my snacks?
Yep.
All right, that's a good thing that we should probably start doing at the top of every show.
Well, it's almost always the same because you can't have crunchy snacks while you're recording.
True. Well, I have some tea tonight with you would have laughed at how much honey I put in this tea. I'm getting over this like weird sore throat sickness thing, and so at any moment tonight, I feel like I'm just gonna bust out in uncontrollable coughs.
Lucky for you all listening, you won't have to hear that.
We can edit that out.
I will get the enormous pleasure of hearing that.
So I have some tea. It was loose leaf tea, which we just got into.
We're fancy. Really.
It's so fancy. And then as always, not as always, but I always have some like gummy candy.
You always have some sort of candy.
Skittle, unwrapped Starburst, of course.
Of course.
Tonight I have sour gummy worms or sour bright crawlers or whatever they are.
Perfect.
We're having a game night tomorrow with some friends, and I bought them for tomorrow, and I was like, I'm opening them tonight because it's still board games. Like, I was going to save them for board games, and I am.
Right now, we're talking board games.
Because you and I are talking about board games.
That counts. That counts.
Yeah, what about you?
My snack is water.
Boring.
I feel too, what's the word, like aware of mouth sounds.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, don't at me, people. I know I make sounds.
You do little clicks every once in a while. I don't think anybody notices it except me. I think that's like a recording pet peeve of mine.
Or yeah, you hurt the ones you love the most.
I just gently point them out.
Oh, okay.
By making fun of them constantly.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just so everyone out there knows, including you, I'm working on that.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, and thanks for everyone who stuck in there. I don't know what the correct word is, but we just had we were trying a new audio setup last show on our Marvel Champions, and my microphone sounded like was a million miles away. Or in another room.
You were in the multiverse.
Oh, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
And that's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
So we kind of, I think, have it dialed in, so we should be sounding crystal clear.
Crystal clear. And if you weren't around for that description of our new setup last time, we now have 2 separate mics. Whoa.
Okay, neighbor dog. All right, little hiccup there. We've now shut the window in our office.
Oh, my goodness.
Our neighbor dog had something to say.
Yeah. And I forgot what I was going to say. So...
Well, should we just jump right into the top of the show then?
Yeah.
Let's just talk about what we've been doing in board games. And why don't we start with you? What's up?
What's up? Well, as you do around the beginning of October... I have started thinking about Christmas.
You immediately just jump to Christmas.
Immediately.
Just like Target does and Lowe's.
Listen, I was in... What store was I in the other day? Oh, it was like a home store.
Home Goods.
Yeah, and I walked in and I was like, there's Christmas stuff.
It's beginning to look a lot like
Christmas. Yes. So it was everywhere, and it just got me thinking about BGG Secret Santa.
Yes, this will be our third time doing it.
So excited.
Yeah. To be fair, we don't know when it starts, but we are already planning.
We're already planning.
And for those of you who don't know, what is it?
Okay, BGG Secret Santa. This is the street rundown version of what it is, because I have none of the technical lingo for it. You just sign up on BGG.
Okay.
And you can make a wish list, which is recommended, so that whoever gets your name.
Now, is it sponsored by Make-A-Wish?
No. I think that's separate. Thanks for trying to throw me off. Christian always loves to throw me those little treats, throw me off my game. All right, well, so you would create a wish list, and I think you can even rank things in your wish list. Like you would need to have this, or you'd like to have something, or you...
Yeah, gotta have it.
Gotta have it. Kind of like Cold Stone Creamery.
Their sizing. It's kind of depressing that we know that about Cold Stone. Well, we had our pregnancies to think about.
Our pregnancies?
That. Well, I was involved. Just that you were the one pregnant.
Okay.
But
we'll table that. We'll table that for another.
New podcast.
So we have a wish list, and then you get sent someone's name, not their
BGG name.
Your BGG name.
Well, and their real name, because I guess you do have to send.
Oh, that's true.
Something.
You do have to send it to a physical address. I guess it just sounded creepy when it was coming out of my mouth.
You get your name.
You get their name. And then you send them whatever you would like, preferably off their wish list. I think they give
that's the idea.
A dollar amount that is... I don't know. Do they give a suggested dollar amount, or is that something we've made up in our own?
No, I think they want to spend at least enough for one game.
Yeah,
like $50.
Right.
Like, it would be kind of a bummer, although it's the spirit of the thing, to just get like one pack of Marvel Champions.
Right.
When I sent my Secret Santa Lord of the Rings Journeys,
there you go.
A huge. I know that's not really what it's for, but they try to eliminate that scenario.
Yes. Our first year we did it, we had a great Secret Santa. Last year we had a phenomenal Secret Santa.
He stepped it, and he was actually international.
Yes.
He was from like Poland or something, or Germany.
It was amazing.
And he did a very good job. They do Christmas good.
I mean,
over in Europe.
Yeah. So I've got a little bit of nervous butterflies about like the bar being raised too high,
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm also looking forward to giving.
That's true. You are a very good gifter.
I like giving gifts.
Yeah.
I just wish I could be there and see them open it.
And then say, "Do you want to play?"
Is that creepy? Yeah.
Actually, I dropped this off to your doorstep. Hi. Can we come in for a game night?
Yes.
So, Andrew, we have our wish list is up on Board Game Geek, and it has about 15, 16 games.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Of what's up there, like if you on that crisp Christmas morning opened the BGG gift, and what do you want to see in it? Would you just get blown away by?
I would be so excited for Brass Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
Give me Brass Birmingham. Here's the deal, though. Someone, I won't mention any names, isn't as excited about Brass Birmingham. So we've been talking about this game for, I feel like, at least a couple years now.
Well, it's been so popular. And it's like number 5 overall. I
feel like there's always a situation where it's like, okay, so we're at the game store, our friendly local game store, and we're like, okay, let's just buy one game. Should it be Brass Birmingham or this one? And then someone is always like, well, let's just do this one. And it's always Brass Birmingham gets left out. Christian, do you want to explain why this anonymous someone would just not like Brass Birmingham?
Yeah, it looks boring.
Oh, it hurts my heart. Well, which one do you want to see on Christmas morning?
again, I would be excited for any of them. That game speaks to you. You love... It's worker placement, right?
That's what I understand.
Yeah, and so your brain... You have a worker placement brain. And I don't. There was that video that I showed you about, like, rolling dice versus, like, placing workers for worker placement. We'll have to post it, a link to it, but it was just so funny that the first one was like, roll 75 dice for 13 rounds of combat. Versus, like, grow grapes for 1 victory point. It's like, and that's how I feel about Brass Birmingham. Like, looking at it, I'm like, I don't get excited from it. But with that said, there's a couple on there that I would be excited for. Rising Sun would be really fun. That's the one in the Blood Rage Ankh Rising Sun trilogy. You know, his trilogy of, like...
Who, Eric Lang?
Yeah, Eric Lang God games.
Yeah.
That would be really fun to get. And then in looking at it quickly, I think Vast is one that I think would be fun to get just because it's a leader game.
Yeah.
And we don't have it.
You want to round out that collection.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. I like what they're throwing down.
You know, I'm looking at the list and I'm thinking if we could be guaranteed, like, well, a game group different than the one that we currently have.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they would not be interested in this game. But if we could be if we could get people interested, I think Grim Masquerade would be fun to play with people. I just don't think it would be a good 2-player experience.
Is it Mysterium-like?
I don't really know. I think, isn't Mysterium the one where you're giving clues to try to guess,
like a murder,
to try to get the rest of the people to guess something?
Yeah.
I don't. I get more of the feeling that it's, I guess social deduction is not quite what I mean, but I don't think it would be a good 2-person game.
Yeah, and honestly, Rising Sun would not either.
Right.
Like, I only want it to complete the set.
But our current game group would enjoy Rising Sun.
They would love it.
Yes.
Very much so.
They would not be interested in Grim Masquerade.
I think they would play it. I don't think it would be, like, a hit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is what is news to me in the board gaming world.
Wow.
What about you?
Well, besides sugar plums and roasted chestnuts.
You're not thinking about Christmas over there?
I'm not thinking about Christmas. One exciting thing that I saw online this week was that Leader Games announced tentatively what their newest game is going to be called. And it's going to be called Arcs.
4 letters.
ARCS.
Yeah.
Like a story arc. And that's kind of the key to the whole game. It's set in space, which is really cool because they've done like the spooky Vast stuff. They've done Root, which is cute, but also deadly.
It is foresty.
Yeah. And then they've done Oath, you know.
Uh-huh.
And this space one looks really cool. And it's supposed to be Oath light-ish. I don't know. There's not enough information out about it yet.
Right.
But it's just like Oath is about like carrying over what happened in the previous game. And it can happen for eternity, really. Every time you play it, the consequences from the previous game affect the current game. In Arcs, you tell shorter story arcs. So you play it 3 or 4 times. And then that's complete. And then you can start over and then do it again. And get a different story told. So,
okay.
There's no ETA or anything. It's like one of those giant breadcrumbs that was just dropped on Twitter earlier this week. And I was like, oh, man, I want it.
You want that game.
Yeah, I have a thing for them right now. So,
and what else are you waiting for?
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Leader Games, we did play the Fort expansion. We played Cats and Dogs.
Yes.
We got that since we chatted last.
Yes.
And we had a lot of fun with that game.
A lot of fun.
We talked about that game over a year ago on the podcast, and yes. I think it was one of those at the time, like the hype was higher than my experience playing the game.
Yeah, something wasn't like clicking checking all the boxes for us.
Yeah.
But now it was a much more fun experience.
Yeah, time heals, all board game wins.
Oh, is that how?
That's what they say.
All right.
In the BGG Bible.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun playing that game. The cat module. I didn't play. Did we play with cats? We did.
Yeah, we did.
We did cats and dogs. Haha, that's what it's called.
Not at the same time.
We didn't mix them. But we had a lot of fun. We actually tried to teach our kids that game, and they did okay.
They did okay.
Which, when we learned that game, I remember going, what? What is going on?
Right.
It was not familiar card mechanics.
If you've never played Fort, it's a good one. I really like it. It's a good deck building game. And it just, the art is so cool. The theme is cool.
Yeah.
So
who doesn't want stuff and pizza?
Exactly.
That's what we're having. That's what we're having tomorrow. I love toys. Let's try
toys and pizza.
So yeah, just a little side note. And then like I'm getting really frustrated, guys, at this whole like.
Just let it out, Chris. Let it out.
And I know there's nothing I can do about it, but the shipping crisis, whatever, is really affecting my board game shipments. And it's just me. I know it's just me.
Problems.
Yeah. Specifically, two that I pre-ordered a while ago, which we talked about last time, was the Mad Titan Shadow Marvel Champions expansion.
Yes, don't remind me.
I have no idea when that's coming out. All I know is it seems like, according to Instagram, everyone else has it but us.
It does seem like that. And that one's making me mad.
Because? Are you a Mad Titan about it?
I want to play the Thanos arc.
I do. I do agree with that too. And I'm really looking forward to the hero in that. I'm looking forward to Spectre. I think she looks very cool.
Yes.
And then Unfathomable, which is another Fantasy Flight game that I pre-ordered as well, specifically for this group that we've been playing with.
Yep.
I think it'd be very fun with that.
Mm-hmm. That's the one we watched the playthrough during the Gen Con stream. Like there was Fantasy Flight employees playing it.
I think we watched a little bit of it, or
okay.
I did, and then it just kept on going, and I was like, I think I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is another game where I feel like everybody's got it except
where's
except
ours?
Us. So yeah, it's just kind of frustrating. I know we'll get it when we get it, and we have plenty of games to play, but it's just like when you're waiting on the new hottest thing, it's hard to be patient.
Yes. Well, that's what this Christmas season is going to teach you.
Patience?
Patience.
Why do you say that? Just waiting for my game? I'll probably get them all on Christmas.
Wouldn't that be the best?
It would be kind of cool, but then I would also be like, well, now we got to play them all. And then which one do we choose to play first? And then the one we choose to play first, we'll probably have to play multiple times. And then the other one will be like, well, we'll just play it later. And then we'll forget about it.
Wow, he has taken a great situation and made it sound horrible. See what I have to live with here?
Perfection.
That's right. All right. Well, we actually have a game to talk about.
Yeah. What game are we talking about?
We're not just shooting the breeze here the whole time.
Which we could.
We could, and everyone would just love it. But we are going to be talking The Lost Ruins of Arnak. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Arnak. I think they're both appropriate.
Okay. We're going to be talking about that game.
Yeah.
Stick with us.
Steak with us.
Steak. This episode is sponsored by Showit. Are you stuck in a boring website template? Maybe you don't even know where to start. Experience the true creative freedom with the drag and drop simplicity of a Showit website. Our website, marriedandboard.com, is a Showit website, and we love how simple it is to create. Get started for free at showit.co. You won't be disappointed.
All right, Lost Ruins of Arnak. Let's jump right into it, Anne. Do you want to describe the game?
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for handing it over. Yes, I do. I do want to describe this game. Okay. Lost Ruins of Arnak. It is worker placement. It is also deck building.
Oh, good.
It is competitive, and it is a game for 1 to 4 players. So in this game, the players are going to take on the roles of explorers who make their way into the jungle to discover untold riches, while at the same time encountering dangerous creatures. While away from the jungle, players advance their research, and throughout the game, players buy new items and discover new artifacts to make all their other ventures more successful. The explorer with the most points at the end of the rounds gets the win.
Cool.
So, that is Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yeah, this is a game that was on our radar for a very long time. And we bought it on our anniversary.
We sure did.
This year, right?
Sure did.
Which was back in June.
June 6th,
I will
to be exact.
I will say it was a while ago that we first purchased it, but we finally felt that we had enough plays to...
We played it a lot up front.
Yep.
And then we've played it a lot recently.
Yeah.
So there's just a gap in the middle.
Yeah, that's fine. It's like, can you explain the gap in your employment, please?
I was thinking more like gap in the teeth. Tooth gap.
Okay. Well, let's just jump into it. How easy is this to set up and tear down?
All right, I'm going to give that a medium.
Medium.
I'm going to put that in the medium category.
I'm going to give it what's worse than medium?
Like harder?
Yeah, it's not.
You're gonna give it a medium hard.
Yeah, I think it's hard. And
okay.
I'll let you go first, and then I'll explain why I think that.
Okay. Well, now I feel very aware that you're gonna maybe disagree with me.
Well, I just said I would.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Pause the show.
This is creating tension. Okay. The ease of the setup, it's medium for me because there are a lot of pieces. There's tokens and gems, and there's a board, and there's cards, and it takes up a decent amount of play space, and you've got to get that set up. But the reason why it doesn't go into the hard category for me is because you're not adding miniatures in addition to that.
So there's not another layer of, I got to make sure my army's ready, his army's ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or very specific tokens. I feel like the tokens are all just separated in clumps, whereas like in some games you're finding find these specific things and give them to player one.
Okay.
Find these specific things.
Out of all the rocks in this game, give the ones with the stars, which are 3 out of 100, to player 2.
So at least things can just sit in clumps. So what are your thoughts there?
So my reason why I think it's hard is because of the clump factor.
Oh.
So the game is a CGE game, Czech game edition is what it's called. And we have 2 other games by them. And it's just funny to me that this is how I feel like they do it. They're just like, all right, we got this great game idea, and we got this awesome art, this great box, everything looks amazing. But you know what we're going to do? We're just going to throw it in a box, and it's just going to lay there and slide around, and there's not going to be any divider.
No, that's
I mean, at
true.
least Fantasy Flight gives you that little weird U-shaped cardboard, whatever, that they're classically known for.
Yeah.
This is just like, let's just dump it in this box.
That is true.
And so setting it up is not bad, but when you put it away and you just dump it in this box,
yep,
it really it doesn't jive with me. Like the Sanctum game, same thing. We have that, and it's just got these giant boards that look awesome. There's tons of cards. There's so many gems and stuff in that game.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just throw it in a bag and stuff it in the corner of this box. And then the newest one, Under Falling Sky, much smaller box, but just still stuff it and throw it in there.
Yeah, that I could see that. We have since gotten so fed up with that we have corrected it with our own money by
with our own money.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it, I guess.
Well, meaning they did not provide us anything to organize it with. So we bought a game organizer from Folded Space.
Yeah, that thing is rad.
It is amazing. So Folded Space, look it up. They have a lot out there, but we're just talking about their Lost Ruins of Arnak insert. And
oh, no, I go on there all the time now to try to find, because it is cheaper than like the Broken Token, like wooden ones, because this is just foam core.
Yeah.
So it's much cheaper and it's lighter.
Yeah.
So like you don't, like Dead of Winter, I have one of the wooden ones, and it just makes that box 86 pounds. It feels like
86.
Yeah.
Yeah, we take out the scale from time to time.
So I'm looking forward to adding that to other games for sure.
Yes, it has made a world of difference, although it is still a lot of stuff to set up and tear down.
It is. I do like that this organizer allows you to take all of like the gems and the tablets and the arrowheads and not have to just have a pile of them on the board. It stays in their little trays.
Yeah.
And you can just put those trays right on the game board.
That is cool.
And keep everything organized, and it made putting everything away. Now, you do have to remember how the puzzle goes back together.
That's true.
But that's way easier than 36 Ziplocs thrown in a box that's 2/3 full.
Right. Right. Agreed.
Well, cool. Yeah. So we disagree a little bit, but I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
My scale might just be a little...
I just didn't take into account the teardown.
Yeah, that's true.
And you did. So,
That's true.
You know what? Foot 5.
Foot 5. How about learning this game, Angela?
All right.
Where does that stand for you?
I think it's fairly easy, especially if you're used to board games. If you have any idea of what worker placement games are like or deck building games, I feel like we caught on fairly quickly. Usually my gauge for that is like, can we learn and do a full playthrough in an evening after the kids go to bed?
Without burning out.
Yeah. And we are not night owls, so burning out does not mean staying up till 2 a.m. It means
like 10:30?
We're like
maybe midnight?
We're like maybe a quarter to 11. We can can push it. So this was pretty simple for us. It might not be accessible to a table full of people that don't know,
who've only played Catan.
Yeah.
Although
Catan
to this is not a huge jump, honestly.
Right.
Because if you know how to play Catan, you know how to put your people down, or not your people, but your houses. That's like worker placement in a way, and wherever that is, you just get those resources. So it's not that new.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so I'd say it's between easy and medium.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the worker placement part is the easy part. Mm-hmm. The cards and the deck building is a little confusing at times to know what action is like a used action or the one action you're allowed to take on your turn, or free actions. And you can do as many of those.
Right.
So keeping track of those can be confusing. And then the part of the game is the research track, and that's a little intimidating when you start playing it.
Yeah.
Just knowing how it works and what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And there's just a lot of components, which we already talked about. So I think like the presence of the game can be intimidating.
Yeah.
But the rule book itself, I think, makes it pretty simple.
Yeah, because in reality, the deck building portion of it, you start with 6 cards, I think, and your hand is 5. So, like, you're going to be playing the same cards over and over again for a round or two until you buy more.
Depending on what your strategy is,
in the game, for sure. Anything else you want to say about learning or teaching that game?
No, I think it would be we haven't tried teaching it to anyone, but I think it would be pretty simple to also teach.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad.
No, I think it would be one of the easier ones we've ever tried.
Yeah, we have an analysis paralysis friend, and I dread playing this game with him. It'd be hard.
Well, I mean, not really. There's only however many things you can do.
You don't think so? I think it'd be a long night.
Well, that is your pessimism showing through.
Welcome.
Just kidding. Yeah, you might be right about that. How about the experience when you're playing it, Christian? Do you feel like it's immersive?
Yes.
He says with a question.
I would say it's not. There's no grand story being told in this game. It's not a narrative board game. It's definitely just it's a worker placement, and you play your cards and you get your things, and then you get points at the end. Mm-hmm. So you're not on a journey together, but it does look very nice.
Right.
It looks awesome. I get like Indiana Jones vibes, like when I'm looking at the cards and the items and the temples and the creatures. Like, it is really cool. It's really cool to look at, and it's got a good table presence.
Yeah, the art is so good. I really like the dig site action, like when you go explore.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the most thematic action. I mean, I understand what researching is within the context of the story they're telling. But like you said, that doesn't like do it for me thematically. What brings it to life beyond the art is probably that action of digging at a site and seeing what's there, and both treasure-wise and creature-wise.
Yeah, it's always fun to not know. Well, it's fun to okay, what site am I going to be at? What resources do I find?
Yeah.
But also, what creature is going to jump out and get me? So yeah, and I want to kind of bring in the conversation about how fun is the game too, because I think it kind of merges with this game specifically. That the funnest part, and I think we both just said it, is the exploring.
Yes. But okay. Now I do want to get into that, but before we leave immersive, it made me think of the resources. I just really like the way they feel in your hand. I'm just thinking of the rubies and the papyrus or whatever you call it, and the arrowheads.
We always call it papyrus, but it's a stone tablet, which is so funny.
I know. And then I know there's upgraded components out there that look fantastic because I've seen them on our Instagram feed. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I can see how that would be a lot of fun if you had those. But
I feel like it's already upgraded.
It does feel that way.
Everything's 3D. It's not cardboard. Mm-hmm. Nothing's metal, but there are no coins in the game.
Well, there's gold and compasses.
Oh, there is money. That's right. Duh.
Yeah, and they are cardboard.
Okay, so everything I just said was wrong.
But do you see how I let you down gentle? And
yeah.
I corrected you in a very...
Farewell.
No, there are... The three that I first mentioned, rubies, not papyrus, what's it called?
Stone
tablet, and the arrowhead. They already feel upgraded.
Yeah, that's true. I had forgotten about the two main resources.
Yes.
I do have a pet peeve. Our copy of Lost Ruins, the compasses and the coins, now that I'm thinking about it, they were cut just a little offset.
Yes.
So the coins, nothing's terrible.
No.
But it's just the compasses are just not centered.
Not quite centered.
They're kind of just off to the side a little bit. The coin's in the same way. It doesn't ruin anything, but it's just kind of oh man.
Yeah. It's they were let's make this for the OCD people.
Yeah.
Let's see if it drives them nuts.
And I see a lot of people that happens to even worse on other games, and this is our first experience with a printing error.
Yes. So the fun factor, what do you want to say beyond or more, add more to your thought about that?
I would say the fun factor is the exploring, is the battling, is gaining resources, going on an adventure a la Indiana Jones to find the lost rubies. Mm-hmm. That is so fun for me in this game.
That is the best part.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is not the way you win.
No, I wish maybe there is a way that you can win that way.
Maybe. Here's the deal. It's so heavily dependent on you advancing yourself on the research track. And that's where my hang up is on the fun.
Yeah, same.
We've played both sides. There's two sides to this board. I think one is the bird side and one's the snake side.
Eagle.
Eagle. Okay.
Yeah, one is considered easier than the other.
Right. So I don't think that either side negates this conversation. I think it happens on both sides. The research track, if you are playing, now we've only played it with 2 people, the 2 of us, right here. We've not played it with solo, and we've not played it with 3 or 4.
That was a question I was going to ask when you did the description, is had you played it solo? Because I didn't remember.
I have not.
Okay.
So maybe what I'm about to say doesn't make sense in the solo or the 3 or 4 player games as much. But when it's just the 2 of us, if we are close-ish on the research track to each other, it like negates everything else we do. The only way you can't win this game and ignore the research track. Like, well, I'm going to ignore that.
At least with 2.
And I'm going to just go dig at sites.
Yeah.
Which is the fun part. So you find yourself spending resources to advance yourself on the research track, and it's not terrible, but it's just a little bit of a thorn in my side.
Yeah, and especially with 2 as well, there are 6 sites that you can go to in tier 1, and then there's 4 tier 2 sites or something like that. And we are lucky to get 1 tier 2 site, because once one of us starts racing up that research track,
yeah,
the other one has to keep up.
Yes.
Or they're going to get left in the dust point-wise.
Yeah.
Unless we're playing it wrong and there's something that we're missing. But, like, the points scale, not exponentially, but, like...
It's not linear.
No, it's worth spending 2 extra resources to get 5 points, as opposed to, well, I'm just going to go explore and get 1 point.
Right.
And so if one player is playing that in our 2-player games, there's no way.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say earlier, and it came out backwards. But yeah, if one player goes for the research track, you can't ignore it. You have to also match what they're doing on the research track, which is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and even in our last game, you sped up the research track, and I tried so hard to catch up, and for whatever reason, the cards I was getting, my card hand, like, it was just not happening, which had not happened before in this game.
I think this is one of the games where we're like fairly even on wins and losses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And somehow I get to the top of the research track fast.
Yes.
And just because I figured that this is a game that, like, definitely plays to your strengths, where I'm like, I just got to get to the top. I got to get there fast.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I want to go kill tigers and giant scorpions.
You're not killing them. I think you're just, like, vanquishing.
Well, what's the difference
what's the...
if an army is vanquished?
Okay. Maybe I've just been like softening the blow in my head.
Yeah. Indiana Jones kills people.
Okay. Sure. All right. It's not Batman where he doesn't kill people.
Well, that's debatable.
Okay. Carry on.
So what about, after all we talked about with Lost Ruins, how do you feel overall of it? Was it worth a game? Was it worth buying? Was it worth me going all across the valley on our anniversary to get you this game?
All across the valley?
I called 2 places.
Oh, okay. You didn't actually go there. You just called.
We just drove to the store.
Okay. That was very dramatic.
I was trying to make it dramatic.
Okay. Okay, here's the deal, folks. Now that we have it, I don't want to get rid of it. We have it. I want to see what it's like to play with higher player counts and even solo, but mostly higher player counts. But knowing what I know now about this game, I don't know if I would have decided to buy it in the first place.
Do you think that's just because of our 2-player experience?
Maybe.
Yeah, I hope it is.
Yeah.
I hope when we play it with 3 or 4, it's a whole new world.
Yeah, this for me, I don't know. It could just be our 2-player experience. Again, I hope I'm wrong because I'm not listing it for sale. It's not one of those games where it's like right now we're never going to play it again.
Yeah, it's not purge. It's not on our purge list yet.
No, we have it. I don't want to get rid of it. But if I knew what I was saying right now about it before we bought it, if I were listening to the Married and Bored podcast about the Lost Ruins of Arnak before we bought it, I would have thought to myself, oh, this is the poor man's version of Abomination.
Wow.
Is that harsh?
Well, yeah.
And, okay, sorry, then let me say that again.
I don't know how to respond.
This is you will enjoy Abomination more than you will enjoy Lost Ruins of Arnak, and you already have Abomination.
Gotcha.
They're not exactly equivalents. I realize Abomination is not a deck builder.
No, the deck builder keeps me in it.
Okay. All right. I could see that. It's different enough but it's just the worker placement part that I love, figuring out that puzzle. And I feel like Abomination does that
better.
Way better.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with most of that. It's not a game that I'm looking to get rid of. I do enjoy that we have it. I'm looking for a higher play count for sure. Mm-hmm. One thing that was also announced about Lost Ruins is an expansion, which is called like the Explorers expansion, I believe.
Okay.
Or Explorers Expedition. I should have done my research and told you the exact name, but you can look it up.
Well, we have it on our BGG wish list.
That's very true.
Look at this is coming full circle, everyone. It is called the Lost Ruins of Arnak Expedition Leaders.
There you go. And so what this does is it replaces your player board with like not a character, but you take on the role of a character, and each character has new powers, and they're unique powers. So one of them I know has an extra explorer token to use. So instead of 2, you get 3. One of them only has 1, but you can move them around.
Yeah.
One of them's really good at getting a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so like it changes the baseline of how each player plays.
Yeah.
That could be, I mean, that sounds very interesting to me.
Totally. Side note, when we first opened this game and I kind of understood the basic idea of what was going on, I was like, wait. I get 2 workers?
Yeah.
That's what I felt like when we first opened Everdell too.
Everdell.
Wait, so you're telling me in this first season I get 2 turtles?
Yeah.
That's all I get?
That's lame.
So that was what I immediately thought of when you told about the Explorer.
That's true. Like
I was like, wait, just hang on here.
2.
There's 2.
Coming from like Abomination, which you love, you start with 3, I think. But then you can get up to like 5.
Yeah.
So there's so many actions you can take in that game. So I'm aboard. I'm all about that because then I could go explore more.
Yes.
Like I don't care about research.
No, it's school related.
It's school related.
Well, and I guess it is. It's got a fair amount of replayability because there are a limited number of tiles, of course. It's not a box that holds infinity tiles. However, it switches up every game, and the way that the idols, which are like your bonuses for exploring or going up the research track, well, I guess you don't get them for the research track. What are those called? Bonus tiles? Anyway, they kind of they land differently each game. You know, the cards that you draw, whether they're artifacts or items, they're different each game. So it's got a healthy amount of replayability. And the expansion.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. And the one thing I wanted to mention about this game that we both find interesting is the speed of this game. There's only 5 rounds in this game, and it's marked by a scepter, the blue scepter of Rajul. I don't know,
Blue Moon Scepter.
And I think this mechanic is very cool, but like every round, the scepter moves over to the right, and I feel like the first 3 rounds of this game are over in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, because we both afterwards are like, the first 3 rounds, like, I thought I didn't have enough stuff.
Right.
And then for some reason, the way the game works, which is probably a testament to how good it's the game could be and actually is.
Yeah, the game's good.
Round 4 and 5, you end up having so many actions that it makes those rounds last almost as long as the first 3 combined.
Yeah, this game is so deceiving time-wise, because when you start the game, I always feel like I've got a long time to set things up.
Mm-hmm.
I got plenty of time. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And then all of a sudden I look up and it's like, whoa, wait, is it round 4 right now out of 5?
And I'm on level 3 of the research track. But then somehow by the end of the game, you get to the top.
Well, I don't think we get to the top every single time.
No, but I'm saying it's possible.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think I do have fun every time we play. I just feel like it's just missing like something.
Okay.
Some variation where it's like someone could win and ignore the research track.
Yeah, I'd like that. That's probably a different game.
Yeah, it is. All right, well.
There you have it.
There are some thoughts about Lost Ruins of Arnak. We're going to come back and talk about maybe some broader thoughts or ideas that surfaced while we played this game.
All right, guys, thanks as always for listening to our chat about Lost Ruins. And we wanted to try something new in this portion of the broadcast.
Let's try it.
And it's called Puzzles versus Playground.
Oh, it's a competition.
and Playground, I don't know.
I was thinking more like Puzzles and Playground.
That's probably more cute.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of puzzles. But what that is kind of like how we, Angela and Christian, approach and enjoy board games. You probably know who's who and who does what.
Christian has the deeper voice.
Oh, no.
Who
likes playgrounds and who likes puzzles.
Oh, I see.
And we just wanted to kind of like explore that and just talk about that specific to Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yeah, I think we alluded to this on one of our previous episodes, recent. Maybe the last one.
Yeah. And so like I enjoy games for the fun. I'm not saying that Angela doesn't have fun, but the way I have fun in board games is
it's more of a playground.
Yeah, like what? Okay. It's my turn.
Swing.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's go swing.
What slide am I going to go down next? And then I'm going to throw sand at this guy. And so like I look forward to those kind of interactions in games. Mm-hmm. With Lost Ruins, I get that through the exploring. I think we talked about that a lot in the main segment about how fun that is. There's mystery, intrigue,
ooh,
danger.
There is danger
because of the creatures.
Yes.
And if I just want more of that in this game, which we again alluded to, but I just think that's why I enjoy playing this game. I do like deck building. I think there's some fun in that.
Okay.
And I enjoy getting the items. Like that's a playground aspect for me. It's like, ooh, I have a donkey.
A donkey.
So I like to collect those.
Okay.
And like thematically, they help you explore, which is the fun part.
Right.
There's a mystical side of it with like the artifacts, which I don't like as much, but they're so powerful.
Right.
But yeah, the fun is just exploring. It's not that research track. That's like Indiana Jones. Like if Indiana Jones in the first 5 minutes went to the Temple of Doom and did what he did, and then the rest of the movie was him teaching history.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the research track is.
Yeah. That's when people don't go to the theater to see that movie. Okay. So then I view this game like a lot of games, or maybe all games.
Yeah, it's our tendency.
As puzzles to solve, and that's where I get the fun out of it. So like Christian said, I mean, we're both having fun, but I get fun in a different way. Like it's a Sudoku puzzle. Like how am I gonna solve this? Or math problem, if you will.
Yeah.
So this one, I mean, I don't know that there's probably a way to like crack it, but I always think, like, especially with our hang up of the research track being our perceived only way of winning, like we feel like you have to dedicate time to that, otherwise you're not going to win.
Correct.
So I guess the puzzle for me is I'm always thinking of not ignoring the research track entirely, but hey, if I could play this again, what if I didn't spend my time? What if the research track was like back burner and I just stacked my deck with buying cards and exploring? Could I amass enough points to cancel out what I would do in the research track? And so that's the puzzle for me right now, is trying to figure out a different way of winning besides dedicating everything you do to the research track.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think that's what you were going to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's great. I think so. Like the next time we play, you're going to think of it totally differently than like a standard playthrough.
Right, because I wanna find a way to play it differently and still win, or at least be competitive.
Yeah. Because you can do what you said in that game, but you're gonna get so many less points.
Yes.
If someone goes up that research track quickly.
Yes. And I think the other thing, the other puzzle piece for me is like exploring the higher player counts, because if you go and you explore a site, the issue is you do get a reward because you've uncovered some sort of treasure or riches.
Treasure!
But you also get a dangerous creature coming at you that's going to create fear in your heart. unless you spend precious resources to vanquish it. Which in my mind is not the same as killing, but it totally is.
Running away. Think of it as running away.
You're like, I feel like you're getting it on your side.
Ooh,
so that you
taming
can use its power.
You're taming it.
Okay. That's the word for it, getting it on your side. Taming. And so now I lost my train of thought.
No, you're just saying like trying to, you have to, you go to a site to get resources. Yes. But then you also have to spend those resources to get rid of the animal.
Oh, yes. So at higher player counts, I wonder, would a little bit of that go away because there's so many people exploring that you can, in subsequent rounds, count on those creatures already being tamed or vanquished.
Yeah.
And then get the resources without having to fight.
Yeah, not for free, but just as one of your explorer actions.
And you don't have to spend compasses to go there anymore because it's already been discovered.
Yeah.
With a 2-player game, there's not a lot of that going on because there's just, well, I guess we could play that way. We could just constantly go to the one place the first person discovered. But that's not fun. No. You want to discover more.
Yeah, and in one of the more recent games that we played, just to do it because I wanted to, and it sounded like fun. There's a slide over there. I went to a tier 2 location. Mm-hmm. It didn't help me at all. But I was just like...
Well, it did.
I knew I wasn't going to win. It wasn't like game changing. But I was like, dang it, I need to just do it because that's what is fun in this game. I don't want to move my book and my magnifying glass
up the research track
to look at dumb rocks. Stop it.
So that's the difference between you and I. Like, I would know, we both know what's going to cause us to have a better chance of winning. And I would sacrifice something that would be fun for me to get the win.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would not win the game to know that I had fun.
Yeah. But then that is fun for me eventually.
Winning?
Because then I win.
Yeah, you do like winning. And you also do not like the opposite.
No, well, actually, in this game, I feel like I've lost at least half the time. And there was one time I was a little sour because I lost significantly. But everything else, I feel like both of us, it's been competitive.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, I hope everything makes sense in this new with what we just said. I think it's kind of fun to just kind of look at games through those lenses. We kind of talk about it naturally in the show, but we just thought we'd try something new.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
This new segment,
yeah.
This new little It felt, like a new shoe.
Oh, so kind of like stiff. Not broken in yet.
Or
snazzy
snazzy and cool.
Oh, so it looks better. I gotcha.
Oh, come on.
Man. Well, awesome.
Trendy.
You want to wrap up the show?
No, but I suppose we should.
No, you just want to keep chatting.
I just want to keep chatting.
You know what? I say this to you every time, and I'm like, when we're halfway through one of these shows.
You literally said this on our last show.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm like, there's no way we're going to talk for an hour. And then we talk for an hour, and it's like, oh, man.
I swear, I should be able to do this with my mouth if you get to mention that every single show.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just always so surprised because me, naturally, I don't like talking.
No, he's not. He's an introvert.
And so, like, talking for an hour seems laborious. Just the thought of it.
Yeah.
But it always goes so quickly.
You know what? I think that's because you love spending time with me.
With you, that's what it is. Yep.
And our listeners.
And you as well.
And me.
Out there.
Oh, and you guys.
So let's wrap up the show, Angela, like we have been the past few months here. And what has been bringing you joy outside of board games?
How does a bastard orphan,
nice,
son of a whore, and a Scotsman?
Elton John?
Yep. If you guys have not seen the Elton John musical, no, we got a chance to go see Hamilton.
That's right. A couple weeks ago. That was really fun.
Yes. So if you did not get my reference there.
Yeah, she wasn't just swearing just for fun.
Although I do that on this podcast. But no, I was quoting the opening song of Hamilton the musical.
Yeah. It was really cool to see that live. We watched it on Disney Plus like 700 times.
Oh, yeah, probably 700.
And then in the car just as many times.
Yes, because fun fact, if you listen to the soundtrack, that is the whole entire musical with the exception of one tiny letter being read.
Really? Mm-hmm. No, I didn't realize that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else?
Besides the greatest musical ever?
Yeah.
No, I can't really think of anything else outside of board games. On our last episode, when we did this, you talked about a board game.
I did talk about board games.
So
should I do it again?
No. That is not what this segment is.
It's against the rules.
It's against the rules, Christian.
Yep.
If you have board game news, you do it in the WhatsApp
You do it at the
segment.
top.
That is the rule.
Got it.
I hope there's people out there that agree with me.
It probably is.
Okay.
Is it my turn? Are you going to ask me?
Christian, what is bringing you joy outside of board games?
I've been waiting for this board game for... Let's see. So the last time we chatted, I talked about a board game, like you just said.
Yes.
I have been sick, so sleep has been bringing me a lot of joy, honestly.
Oh, yes. Bring it.
So that has been fun. It's not fun, but
necessary.
Necessary is a good word. But also TV. We may have mentioned this before. You have the memory of that. I don't. Only Murders in the Building. Show on Hulu has been very fun for us to watch. Ted Lasso, of course.
Yes.
Just kind of like brainless things since we last chatted because just I've been not 100%.
Yes.
Been playing video games. So, yeah, just, living the dream.
Living the dream. Sleep, TV shows, and video games.
Yeah.
And what are these called? Gummy worms.
Gummy worms. I mean, there's always gummy worms always bring me joy. Coffee always brings me joy.
Yeah.
Records always bring me joy.
Yeah. And also, our BGG Santa sent us books and coffee last time.
That's true.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's because of this segment that he sent us that.
I think so. Shout out to our friend. This is why
it's important. Because people could just send us stuff. Not that happens.
If you want to send us something, whether it's a local delicacy, movie tickets, Or a board game. How about a board game?
Oh my gosh.
You're looking at me like, what is he talking about? So you better wrap it up, Angela.
I'm gonna wrap this up.
How can they get in contact with us and just chat with us online?
If you still want to get in contact with us after this, we can be reached multiple ways. Probably Instagram at Married and Bored is my favorite. I love when people slide into our DMs, Christian.
Yeah.
I do. So yes, chat with us there. Christian has been trying to accumulate more followers on the Twitter.
That's true.
Is it called the Twitter?
It's just Twitter.
Okay.
It's not. It's like the Facebook from the movie, but it's,
got it.
Yeah.
Christian, what's our handle at Twitter?
It's just Married Bored.
Married Bored.
Yeah.
And then also there's hello@marriedandbored.com. That is an email address.
Yes.
If you need to write us a letter.
Feel free to email us about anything. We'll respond.
Yeah. Anything.
Let's see what happens.
Okay. We're inviting.
You look scared, but
I'm not scared.
It'll be all right.
Bring it on, everyone. So, and let us know what your thoughts are. What are you enjoying outside of board games? What's up with you this week?
Yeah. Are you a puzzler or a playground player?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, have you played Lost Ruins of Arnak? And what do you think about that research track? Let us know.
It sucks.
Okay, Christian, this wasn't directed at you.
Okay.
It's supposed to be an open question to the listeners.
Well, as always, we appreciate everybody. Thank you for listening. We will come back and chat more games in a few weeks.
Woohoo!
Later.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Married and Bored podcast. And guess what? We have a website where you can listen to podcast episodes and so much more. Find us at marriedandbored.com, or you can email us at hello@marriedandbored.com, or follow us on Instagram at marriedandbored. Music in this episode is by Joseph McDade. See you next time.